What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new webinar in the new year. It's such a pleasure to be back again. I just had a call with my team and we were talking about how it's not 2025, it's 2020 Thrive. So I loved that one, Yazid. Shout out. Welcome, everyone. Today, we'll be talking about what it's like to learn, build, and succeed. How do you go from start to finish? Let me share my screen. And we have lots of exciting things planned today, guys. We're going to go through our entire journey of how we can take you from no employment, no coding, to actually landing your first job. And how do we actually do this? How do we cook this? How do we create this whole flow? And how do we take, and how have we done it already so far for so many learners? And how do we intend to continue doing it? So we also have a special guest in today's session, somebody very special who will be sharing their experience and a project that they've actually developed. So I'm super excited to introduce you to them. Other than that, we also have an announcement to make. Basically, this webinar has been, we've hit a new record. We've hit over 330 signups, and this is the largest for us. So thank you so much, guys. Interact with us in the comments. It's 2020 Thrive, guys. It's 2020 Thrive. We're going to grow together from here, and super excited. I'm super excited. Also, we have a special something planned for you guys today, right? At the end, I'll tell you more about it, but it's something to do with a gift hamper, a Zaio gift hamper worth 3,000 rands. So stick with us till the end so that I can tell you more about that. All right, so let's go. So guys, the theme today is around learn, build, and succeed. All right, and today we're just going to explore what exactly our process is. How do we do it, right? How do we take aspiring coders, people who are fascinated by tech, and how do we take them and make them and groom them into becoming industry ready professionals, right? So the reason we're here is because there are quite a few issues we have, there are quite a few issues we have in our tech ecosystem, right? It's about bridging this tech skills gap. There's a need for good quality talent from companies, especially with the evolving tech needs, as well as youth, right? The youth are actually unemployed. So there's a huge unemployment rate that we're battling with. At any given time, we're talking about north of 200,000 jobs that are unfilled. So that's why we're here. We're here to try and close this tech skills gap, help you evolve with the times. Lots of exciting things are coming ahead in the next few years. It's going to be amazing to be part of this whole tech scene. So we're all about empowering South Africa's youth. We're battling a big problem. The youth unemployment is hectic, and that is something we're trying our best to solve. And we're helping you achieve your tech career dreams, right? Not only professionally, but to also grow beyond that, right? And that's what we're here about, okay? So just a little bit about Zaio, right? Our vision is basically to empower South Africa's youth with future-ready tech skills, driving down unemployment and building a sustainable tech force. So it's exactly what we spoke about sooner. We want to create talent that's going to drive future tech forces by creating more employment, creating more reach for the youth, right? And the way we do this is through our mission, which is to provide accessible, accredited tech education through our boot camps and soon coming micro boot camps, which are all geared towards readiness and placement. Guys, from the beginning of all of our programs, we try our best to make sure that we're preparing you to become job ready from day one, right? It's not only about learning concepts, but it's about how can you actually be relevant in this day and age, right? So just a couple of highlights why students actually like us. We are MICT CETA accredited. We have high placement rates. We're talking about 80% of placement rates. A lot of students tend to come to us because of our experience, right? And I will go through I will demo you guys what exactly that experience looks like. But it's very much real world project-based learning, and it's very exciting. The feeling you get when you build a Netflix landing page or when you build an Airbnb app on your own from scratch, right? It's extremely satisfying. So that whole experience, the support system, the community, I think that is something that learners really enjoy, and I'm super excited to share more details with you around that. And I think the best one for the last is the guarantee, right? The interview placement guarantee. So that is something that that we really push for, and it's a two-way street, and we do our best to make sure that we keep our high placement rates. All right. So just speaking a bit more on that, right? We believe there are three main things that we do that really attract learners to Zaio, right? And it's the first thing is community, right? We have a pretty big, like, fast growing community right now, and we have lots of talent, lots of youth that are actually part of this Discord channels. We mainly use Discord for our community. And I think it's a great place to meet like-minded people. For each bootcamp, we have a separate channel. So it's a very private experience, as well as having a more interactive experience with other members all across the community, which I'll also give you guys a demonstration on. I think the curriculum and methodology as well. Our whole process is geared towards making you job ready, right? And developing a strong portfolio. And the whole methodology is actually very, very exciting. It's very well researched. We've done research with lots of companies, and since developed this methodology, which continues to keep iterating, right? And probably the biggest thing is our placement support, right? You do get a guaranteed interview, as well as job placement support and career guidance, right? So just a reminder, guys, like, there is a small surprise that I'm really excited to share with you, which is going to come towards the end, right? So stay tuned. It's a gift hamper. I'm really excited to share the details of how you can actually get your hands on this gift hamper. So stay tuned with us till the end. All right. If there are any questions, guys, please feel free to drop it in the comments. Give us a like. Share this with somebody who you'd like to start this journey with. It's a very enlightening experience. All right. So let's jump into the crux, right? So there are four main steps to basically go from no experience to actually landing your first job. All right. And the way we do this is through these four steps. Okay. The first step is the application process. Okay. We have a very simple application process. Once you do that, the next step, once you're successfully enrolled in our bootcamps, the next step is to go through onboarding and orientation. All right. And this is where we get you familiarized with all of our different tools, exactly what you need to know to actually stay consistent on your journey, right? So it's not only about starting well, but it's about starting well and maintaining that momentum, right? We've seen learners who start well, but they tend to fall off. So we've built measures in place to push learners through till the end, all right? So that you'll be equipped with all the knowledge that you need to know to sustain yourself through the program. And then number three is probably where you'll be spending most of your time, all right, which is learning and building. This is where you're going to be focused on building your portfolio. There's going to be live classes. There's going to be interview readiness sessions. It's going to be extremely fruitful experience for you. You'll grow so much. You will grow so much. And I'm really excited to actually bring our guest who will share their experience as well on this, right? And then number four is the graduation and job placement, all right? So this is something that we actually incorporate very much from the beginning, right? Through interview readiness sessions. These are sessions that we do to prepare your soft skills, right? So when somebody is looking to hire you, especially with the evolving tech needs, they look at you beyond your skills in terms of your hard skills. They look at you in terms of your communication. Are you a good communicator? Are you a good team player? What's your leadership like? What's your accountability like? So there are certain aspects beyond coding that have to be measured, that you have to work on, and that is something that we also cater for in our programs. All right, but of course, it's a huge moment to celebrate, and I think that at that moment when you actually land your first interview, when you land your first job, that's the moment which will make you feel like it was all worth it, and it's amazing to see learners go through this experience. And yeah, like, I think we want to see more of that. We want to see more learners get jobs, right? So before selecting your boot camps, definitely check out the handbooks, right? This whole presentation can actually be shared. So I'm not sure, Arjot, if you can just drop it in the comments perhaps, but we can share this presentation with you guys, and you can click on these links, right? And this is basically our handbook for our full stack bootcamp. And then I've also added a handbook for the data science bootcamp. And this is very important, right? Because this will give you a full picture of what exactly a bootcamp entails. How do you go from start to finish? I think it's something very useful before you make a decision to actually apply, right? But if you're confused, if you're sitting on the fence, if you're thinking, man, is this really for me? Go ahead and apply. Start the process. Just apply. It's free to apply. Basically, there is an admission fee, right, of 150 rands. But basically, the goal with the application is you just got to get across that barrier so that you can put yourself in the deep end and start growing, right? You got to place yourself in the deep end. Okay. So step one is the application process. All right. It's a pretty simple process. I will go through that with you right now. And you pretty much sign up, you choose which bootcamp you want to enroll into, and then you just go ahead with the application, right? It's a very short application. It should take you maybe 5 to 10 minutes to maybe do that application, right? We also have financing options available, right? So if you do choose the if you want your payment plan to be financing oriented, we do have a partner, Manati. So you can follow that part of the process as well. We're trying our best to make this more accessible. And once you're done with the application, you can go ahead and do the enrollment. All right. So let's talk about the application, how exactly you can actually apply. All right. Basically, if you click on the link that I've shared, you will see a page like this, right? This is zaio.io/apply-now, right? And you'll see what programs we have available. And if you're confused, you can also speak to one of our career experts. But once you know what you want to pursue, you're welcome to click on that, and that'll put you through a form. All right. And on this form, you have to pretty much just enter your details so that we can get to know you better, and it'll just make our process of enrolling you smoother, right? So this is basically a process. It's a two-step process. Once you do the general application, where we get to know you, we get to know your background, your demographics, then we move on to the admission fee so that we can process your application. And once the admission fee is done, you will be given further instructions on the enrollment. All right. So that is step one. All right, which is the application part of the process. All right. The demo gods, I say. All right. Okay. So where were we? Let's see. Yeah, we talked about step one. All right. Step one is pretty much the application process, which should be very, very, very smooth. All right. Step two is where you pretty much become part of the program. Okay. And what we do over here is we pretty much onboard you. We have an orientation session with you, and we get you up to speed with all the tools that you need to know to stay on track with this program. Right. So that also includes all your support structures. How do you get support when you're stuck? One of the biggest things about coding is that you will get stuck, you will hit bugs, but how do you get past that, right? And that's where support structures and support systems matter, right? So all of that orientation and all of that onboarding will happen, right, in step two. And just to give you a little bit of a picture of what the platform looks like in terms of experience, like what exactly the dashboards look like, I'd love to share that with you. So one of the major things is to actually view the calendar, right? So this is one of our students' profiles, and you can see that we have a calendar. So this is one of the things that that is a highlight in the bootcamp, right? Where every student will have access to their own calendar, and you'll be able to see what tasks you have to do on each day. So that whole a very long journey has been condensed down in a manner where you just have to focus on what's ahead, right? And it's color coded such that for us at first glance, we can see the colors and we can better assist you and help you get up to speed with everything in case you're lagging behind, right? Green indicates that you've completed the tasks on the day. Yellow indicates that you completed the tasks, but perhaps behind schedule. blue indicates that you've completed the tasks before time, and red indicates that you have not yet completed the task. So the color coding just helps us with helping you better, right? Helping the learners who enroll better. And this is, you'll be able to see what tasks have to be done on each day. And this is especially helpful for people who are maybe working another job or they have other commitments. This breakdown has been super helpful. It's been one of the highlights. Learners have loved this. And just on that, if you click on any of these videos, it will redirect you to the video player. So we have a Netflix-like user experience in terms of watching videos, where you can actually watch the videos. It's a very interactive, very premium feel, right, when you watch these videos. And other than that, you can also work on coding challenges, right? We have different types of coding challenges. We have a front-end auto marker as well. And these challenges basically allow you to practice the concepts that you've learned, all right? And it helps you, it also gives us an indication of what your scores are, right? We also have multiple choice questions, right? Which basically test your concepts along each step of the way, and we're tracking those scores as well, all right? So this is an example of a question. You can see this is what the experience looks like. It's got some good sound effects and so on. And we've got some coding challenges as well. And we've got an AI assistant on this. So this is a very interactive experience. While you're watching videos, it feels like you're coding along with the instructor. While the instructor is building a website, it feels like you're also working alongside that instructor to actually understand concepts better. All right. So these are the three biggest components of the learning experience in terms of individual learning. But beyond that, a lot of learning also happens on, like, from a community lens, right? It's called Zaioverse. This is the Zaio community. This is where we basically have all of our channels, all of the students that are part of the different boot camps are over here. And this is where we interact with all of our learners. Learners interact with one another. And this is where, if you have any questions at any point, you're stuck with something, you can always post it on the channels. But we also have other channels where it's questions that are specific to concepts. So this is a great way for us to help you better. And I think the community it's growing, and we're very happy to see the growth of the community. And by the way, this is free, right? You don't have to pay to join the community. So I highly recommend that you check it out. Play around with the community aspect, right? With Discord. All right. So yeah, I think we place a big emphasis on community, right? In this day and age, it's important to build connections, right? Especially in the early days of your learning, you want to build connections. I think my favorite thing to talk about over here is a story of two learners, right? Where they actually met on Discord, right? They were actually part of one of the cohorts, and they were struggling with some concepts, so they were helping one another on Discord. And they really enjoyed interacting with one another, and they actually started having calls together. And then they eventually built a project together, and now they're actually working on a company. They've both been placed into the same company, actually. I got to know recently. And I'm really excited to see how their journey pans out, what more projects they build together. But I think this community aspect is something that's very underrated. I think it's extremely crucial to your wellness, to your mental health. You want to be working alongside other people who are as passionate about you or as determined as you to get through these sort of programs and journeys, right? So yeah, community is a really big aspect for us. And here's a link for you guys to join the Discord community. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. But definitely recommend you to just check it out. All right. Moving on to step 3, this is where we focus on building, learning and building, right? It's all about learning concepts. You attend live classes, you get your hands dirty with code, you make mistakes, you build real projects. We're focusing on building your portfolio over here, right? So all along your journey, you're building real projects, you're tackling real challenges, and you're building a really strong portfolio. The main thing over here is to make you a good problem solver, right? So that you can adapt to different kinds of conditions, right? And then the continuous growth happens. It happens throughout the program. It should happen after the program as well, once you're in your first job, right? Step 4 is where we move towards graduation and job placement, right? So this is where we focus on becoming, at this point, you should already be industry ready, right? The resume building has already happened throughout the whole program. Maybe towards the end of the boot camp, you're just fine tuning it a little bit, making it look a bit better. And then there's mock interviews as well, right? There's mock interviews that happen during the program itself. And there's industry readiness sessions that are happening throughout the whole program. And these sessions happen once every 2 weeks. And at the end of it all, you can connect with some really good companies, and you can start your career in tech, right? I think it's a pretty simple trajectory. It's all very well planned out and very well done, right? So yeah, I think it's one thing for me to say it and say to you guys and explain what the whole process is about, but it's something else to actually hear it from somebody, right? From somebody who actually went through the experience, somebody who actually faced the challenges, shaped their career, and somebody who's about to perhaps get their job, right? So I'm really excited to introduce our guest, right? Her name is Mobile, right? And I think she should be in the backstage right now, but yeah, basically, just trying to see if she's around here. Okay, she seems to be having some network issues, so maybe she'll join us later. But this is a very, very interesting segment. I'm super excited to share this. I mean, I also want to interact with her and understand more about her experience. I had a brief look at her project, but I'm really excited to interact with her, right? I think she's having some network issues, so let's just give it a few minutes before she's able to attend. But I think until then, let's move on to the next segment, right? Which is about the giveaway. Okay. So actually, I'll hold on to the giveaway, right? Let's just see if there's any questions that we can address right now. I can actually see Mobile is here. All right, so this is a very interesting question. So if someone is in high school, can he qualify to join the program? So that's a very valid question. The answer is yes. As long as you have a good internet connection and you have a basic computer, a laptop, you should be good to go, right? And yeah, like that's it. Like as long as you have the willingness to learn, right? That's all you need to get started. We take you from no coding experience. We don't expect you to have any prerequisites. We'll teach you everything that you need to know from the beginning, right? We don't expect you to know anything before that. If you do, that's great. It'll help us get through the program easily. If not, everything is available from scratch. Can you compare to a computer science degree? Look, so I actually did a computer science degree, right? I studied at the University of Cape Town, and definitely, like, it's a different experience, right? A computer science, the degree is not only, I feel like it wasn't, the material I learned during the degree was not as valuable, right? The material that you learn in boot camps is definitely more focused on what's happening in industry, right? So if I had to compare to the degree, definitely I would go for a boot camp if I want to just focus on learning and getting a job, right? And also it's significantly cheaper, right? You're investing about 6 to 12 months of your time, and that's it. You're going to get a job, right? However, with the degree, it's a very holistic experience, right? It's not only about the material that you learn in class. In fact, the material that you learn in class is not even relevant in industry, right? It's about the experience of doing the whole degree, like meeting other people, doing other courses in the computer science degree. The assignments were really difficult, so it really it builds your work ethic, it builds character. So there's other benefits of doing the degree, which is a much longer time period, right? You're spending almost 3-4 years doing a degree, whereas with the boot camp, you're focusing on what you need to know, and it's a very much more focused experience, right? You learn exactly what you need to know. and you interact with the right people who share similar energy, and you produce results a lot faster. So I think that's the biggest difference. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a quick way into industry, I definitely recommend that you join Zaio, go through the boot camp, actually, invest that time and energy there. But if you're looking to, have a more holistic experience, you want to build character, you want to experience university life, then definitely I recommend the computer science degree. All right. So the next question here is, can I do uni and Zaio? Will the accreditations clash? And what if I take a gap year to do Zaio and then want to continue studying at university? How would that work? Very interesting question, right? So to address the first part of the question, can I do uni and will Zaio's accreditation clash? The answer is no, there won't be any kind of clash. We have lots of students that are pursuing their degrees that join us, and they push towards getting the MICT CETA credits, right? So there is no clash. In fact, it's an added benefit for you, because by the time you graduate from your program, hopefully you would have secured a job, right? And I don't think it's necessary to take a gap year, right? But if you are someone who likes to focus and dial deep down into specific, like you want to focus on one thing at a time, then I recommend that you take a gap year, right? And then you can continue university after that. All right. But I don't think it's necessary. We've had students that actually go through their degrees maybe during exams times. The productivity on the Zaio platform reduces a little bit, but then there's also holiday times where there's a ton of blues on the calendar. So I think it's all about balance, right? Yeah, I hope that answers the question. So the next question is, what kind of laptop do you need to use? So pretty much a simple laptop. I can actually, oh, sorry. So pretty much a basic laptop. We do actually have like a spec that is in the handbook that will give you access to what hardware requirements are there, right? Let me pull that up for you. Um, okay. We're pretty much looking at basic specs like 4 GB RAM. If it's SSD storage, it's more ideal, right? I cannot seem to find that here. There we go, right? So these are the specs that we look at generally, right? So a simple Windows-based computer should work, with a PowerShell or Mac terminal. We're looking at a simple processor, i5 is good enough, okay? And then for memory, look, 8 GB is ideal, right? But if you have no option, then 4 GB does the job. But for a more smoother experience, I highly recommend going for 8 GB, right? SSD is definitely ideal for storage, right? 256 gigabytes is generally in like the base specs that are provided. And then for internet connection, you ideally want to have a high-speed internet connection, with minimum speeds of 10 Mbps, right? For download and 3 Mbps for upload, right? So these are the general hardware requirements, and yeah, like I think this is more than enough for you to get through the program. And then once you earn your first salary, once you get into your first job, you can then invest in a better, more highly spec'd laptop. So I can see Kobile is actually here in the room. Not sure if we can proceed. All right, I'm just gonna stop screen sharing. Hey Kobile, how are you? Hello, are you there? Okay, I think the network is a bit shaky. Um, But I think we actually also have our CTO with us, who's in the backstage. So I'd love to pull him in here for a bit. Maybe we can address some of these questions together. There we go. Hey Asif, how's it?
Thank you. How's it? How's everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's smash these questions. Mm, we're talking about laptops.
No, we already went through the hardware requirements. We're waiting for Mobile to tune in. I think she's having some network issues so that we can go through her project and just hear her experience from the boot camps, right? So I think we can actually use this time to actually address any more questions. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments below. So this is a very interesting question, Asif. Basically, if someone is not ready after 6 months, what's the remedy? I love how they've used the word remedy. So Asif, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So what happens is that we have multiple cases already like this, where a lot of students, there's quite a few who are not able to complete the boot camp within 6 months because life happens, someone's laptop like crashes, or some family crisis, something definitely happens, and they have to stop their studies for a while. In cases like that, we have something called a deferred program. I mean, I'm not supposed to say this in live sessions because that's our way of handling it, but we have something called a deferred program where we push your program 6 months more longer, which means you have more time to complete the work. You are given special care and attention by a tutor, which means there'll be one specific tutor that's allocated to you full time, making sure they're pushing you to finish, and they're going to be able to help you in all your challenges that you're facing. If you're struggling with a project, that'll be a go-to person to help you. If you're unhappy with a tutor, you can even change your tutor to the next one, until you're satisfied with the person who's teaching you. So there is ways that we're using to solve this problem. So if you don't finish, don't stress about it. You don't get charged extra for 6 months as well. We'll just give you some extra 6 months to finish up whatever was left. And 6 months is quite a long time.
Awesome. The next question here is, do you guarantee a job after completing these courses, and what is the highest paying job?
Okay, do you want to take the first one? I'll take the second one.
Yeah, sure. So we do guarantee an interview placement, right? That's what we guarantee. Okay. We prepare you through mock interviews. We have interview readiness sessions, and we get you into that first interview. However, the way you perform in the interviews really depends on you. That's really, in most cases, learners do make it through, right? Learners do end up landing their first job, right? But our focus is on getting you across the door, right? If we get you into your first interview placement, um, the way is open for you, right? Remember, it's a two-way street. Like, as long as you're working, as long as you're hitting your milestones, as long as you're following, the process, there is nothing that's going to stop you from landing the job, right? But what we guarantee is an interview placement.
Yeah. So, and then just to add on to that, we do have quite a few companies in our database. We have a full-time HR person now as well that we've onboarded to help with placement of students. But again, like Akhil said, you have to be good at the job, right? If you haven't finished the boot camp, or if your marks are low, it's very difficult for us to place you in that role, right? So, yeah, I just want to add about that. And then the highest paying job, I think, was one of our students who's currently working at APSA, and I don't know if I'm allowed to reveal the pay.
Do not disclose the details, as in
Yeah,
like
but
the person.
it's quite it's I'll just put a range. The range
Give
was
a range.
between,
Yeah, give a
yeah,
range. Give a
25 to 35. That was the highest paying job. Some students get internships, right, where they paid around 5,000 to work part time at certain companies, and then some students get proper junior roles. Those ranging from 10 to 15,000. So it's different ranges depending on how you perform at the companies that are available at that time who are hiring from our database. Apart from that, what we also do is we want to introduce this new system where that we teach you how to apply for these jobs as well, because there's a certain set of companies that we are connected to, but there's a lot more people who are hiring out there. So how to find those jobs, we have workshops on how to find those jobs, how to like reach out to those companies, how to have your CV properly looking good enough, your portfolio good enough, so you can be eye catching to an HR person. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think on that, there's a ton of roles that you can access beyond South Africa as well, because the nature of development is it allows you to do remote work, right? So that's why we find that it's very important that we teach you how you can actually find these jobs that are just beyond our partnership network, right? So here's another question from Rashid. How long does it usually take to get an internship or a junior role, full stack?
I think the longest it has taken for us to find. So once you finish the boot camp, you can definitely get an internship within the first 3 months, or even a junior role, unless you go into a deferred program. But within the 3 months time frame, it's very easy to find something. Yeah, given that you're consistently applying. I remember in the initial phases of Zaio, we didn't have a recruitment person on board, right? So what we used to do is I personally, I remember I sat down with the student, and we applied for 100 jobs. From there, got 3 interviews, and from there, got one job, right? So you need to actually put in the effort to even get that opportunity, because as a junior, you need to like try a little bit more harder to shine compared to the other developers that are out there.
I think just on that, just adding a little bit to that, one of the things that we really push is the becoming aware of getting hired. Like from the starting, from the beginning, when you start learning how to code, there's always going to be something in your mind about getting a job, right? We have
Yeah.
workshops in place. We're soon going to be onboarding a talent advisor. So there's definitely like that thing that's at the back of your mind that I need to be like on the lookout for jobs, right? So we also teach you how to um, like we train you and we guide you on leadership skills as well, so becoming more active on LinkedIn, for example. So from while you're learning itself, you're already opening your doors to accessing opportunities. So by the time you're reaching the end of your program, you kind of know where you want to go, and you're not starting from zero, right? You've made some segue, you've made some sort of progress, and then you're pushing to get a job, right? So this is a, yeah, it's a very valid question actually. How much are the fees for the courses? Asif, I'll take that one.
Okay, so for the full stack bootcamp, for I think this is the prices should be changing next
From
bootcamp, but
March.
for
Yeah.
this bootcamp, I think it's 25,500 if you're paying upfront, and then there's a 2 month installment plan as well to pay that off. So within 2 months, and then we have financing partner called Manati, and Manati gives you study loans for I think over 12 months, so you can pay the amount over 12 months. And then the data science bootcamp is 29,500. So the full stack one is 25,500, and the data science one is 29,900. So it's 29,500 to 29,500 and 25,500.
All right. Next
And the
question.
Manati thing is for both, right? You can
Yeah.
use Manati for full stack or even for data science.
Awesome. Neo's question is, how many hours a week do you need to commit for this boot camp?
Okay, so the way I've seen it, on average, students who commit at least 4 hours manage to complete within 6 months, right? So I think they spend an hour just learning new content, and the remaining 3 hours is spent on assignments and just coding challenges on the platform, right? If you skip a day or two in the week, it should be fine. You can catch up. But yeah, for 3 to 4 hours, I would say would be a good amount. And then if you can spend some extra time in the weekends, because with coding, the more you practice, the better you get at it. So yeah, that's how much time I think is good.
Is there any association that I should join when I do data science? Is there license I require to practice as a data scientist? So I think this touches on certification.
I haven't heard of anything like that, to be honest. Uh, because whenever there's people hiring for data science, it's because I remember someone reached out to us last year and there was no any requirements for licenses. So I think just having the skills should be enough. Passing the interview should be good enough, because the thing is that the demand is so much and supply is so less. Now if people start adding extra barriers to entry into getting the job, how will they find the people they're looking to hire, you know? So I don't think there's anyone you have to get a license with, from what I know. But I'll definitely do more research about this. If I do find something, I'll definitely like post on Discord or maybe it's Tedison, right? You can just drop me an email on asif@zaio.io. So I have your email address, and I'll let you know if there's anything like that. But nothing that I can recall of.
Nothing. Yeah, like so far we've not seen anything like that. Yeah. As long as you're highly skilled, you should be good. Yeah. So does that mean we are on our own if the first interview doesn't go well?
I mean, so far there hasn't been a case, right? So there has been like there's been a few interviews that have not gone well, but because of the kind of relationship we have with the companies that we've placed the students in, they've managed to give them that opportunity to work for like a month or two, and then see if you can adjust in the company or not. But if it doesn't go well, like we can definitely try to help you once again. I mean, if you're a good developer, right, we'll find what are the weak points that you're failing on cracking and try to help you with that specific thing, right?
Yeah, I
So
think just adding on to that, this you're never really alone on this journey, right?
yeah,
From the beginning, not only do you have other learners who are learning with you and who are in the same boat as you. So if you have any questions, you can ask there. But you also have access to tutors. You also have access to, um, you know, uh, us as a
Discord.
team. Like we're all available on Discord, right? So I think you're never on your own. Like in fact, we do get pretty involved with placement specifically, right? So
Especially this
we,
year, like we're putting
yeah,
a lot of efforts in placements.
yeah. So we know how much, like as much as it means, we know how much it means to you, but it means a lot more to us as well to make sure that you actually get a job. Otherwise the whole training is useless, right? So we really push on the placement side of things. We're really putting a lot of energy into that. So you're not on your own. uh, could you please elaborate on how the interview process works? What happens if I don't pass my first interview? So if you've actually been present with some learners in interviews, hey?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
initially, I used to like go into the interviews with the learners. So what has happened is because of that entire process, we've been able to like come up with the kind of questions they usually ask. And when it comes to junior roles, they're quite easy, especially for the internship ones. So yeah, if you don't pass your first interview, how the entire process works is you get once you finish the boot camp, you submit your capstone project that's marked, and once you have your final mark, we use that final mark to look at your work, your portfolio, and that's sent to our HR manager. What the HR manager does is checks which companies are hiring, and then we send your CV and profile to that specific company, right? Um, Remember, we have more information about your work and what you do on the platform that we send out to those companies, like your coding challenges, how you've performed in them. So those things play a role because it helps them dig deeper into how you code and how you've learned things, right? So we send that out to companies, and once they get a response that we're interested in this person, we let you know, and then we send you for the interview, right? So that's how the entire process works. And then some companies have like two interview sessions, some have like three, some have like one. So it all depends on what kind of company you get. And then if you fail, I mean, like there's quite a few companies that give you those offers, right? So you go to the next one until you try secure something at least.
Yeah, I think just on that, the I think with the interviews, some interviews might, most interviews actually might include like a technical assessment. So Asif, maybe you want to touch a bit more on that.
Yeah, so I mean, what happens here is once you finish the bootcamp, right? You want to practice a lot of coding challenges. Like you want to be able to speak how to solve the problem, right? So like some are quite simple, but when you answer it, the way you answer it matters the most. So I remember one of the interviews I went into. Uh, like one of the interviewers showed a screen, and they were like, this is a learning screen. It was an edtech platform as well, and they said that what, show us how you would build this page and what features you would use. And the way he answered the question was very high level. So in these kind of questions, you want to go in very much in depth. Talk about the APIs and talk about the programming language you would use, how you would connect the database, how you would resolve for errors. Go in very much depth. And then when it comes to like a little bit more those technical challenges in terms of solving a coding problem, right? Those are a bit more challenging, and but if the more you practice, you can get this more easily. You can get them right more easily. So once you finish the bootcamp, focus on just practicing these coding challenges. There's quite a few on the Zaio platform, right? And if you're able to do that, you should be able to crack the interview. Especially there's a section called data structures and algorithms. So if you get that specific section right, you can even score interviews with like remote US companies, to be honest.
Awesome. So I think before we take any further questions, I think Mobile is actually she's made it. I think she's winning. It's been a battle with network today, but let's see if we can have Mobile here. Hi, Mobile. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hi, everyone. I'm really sorry I cannot share my screen. I'm in the Bundus, so my network is a bit tricky. I'm going to keep
Yeah.
it very short and sweet for you guys who are thinking of enrolling with Zaio. So I come from a background of fashion. I have zero experience when it comes to coding, tech, IT, and so on. And unfortunately, I cannot show you guys my project, so you guys would have seen what I achieved in 6 months. The course is very, very hectic. So when you are going to enroll, you are going to make some sacrifices, but it's absolutely worth it. It will pay off at the end. Make use of your tutors and the support system. They're always there willing to help. So if you get stuck and you feel like you are a bit dumb or you don't understand something, please do not give up. The tutors are always there to be very helpful and to guide you guys. So my experience was absolutely amazing. I loved the fact that they are tutors who are always willing to help. You can call them, set up meetings with them, and also just attending live sessions. We attended like two live sessions a week, and just being able to talk to your lecturers and show them your projects, and they're able to guide you through was really, really impressive. Tech is not the easiest industry to crack or to get into. So just having like mentors who are there to guide you and help you with your issues was really, really helpful for me. And at the end, I was able to create an app that's actually working, that's responsive. And obviously, the nice thing also about Zayo is that if you do get stuck and if you feel like you're lacking somewhere, you still have access to the platform for about 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. So you can always go back and just work on your skills and improve wherever you feel like you need to improve. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's I feel like yeah, you covered so much in that, and it would have been quite nice to actually see your project. But I think let's take it a step back. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background. Like, did you know how to code before? Like, what was your story before you actually got into the boot camp?
Yeah, so I have 6 years experience working in the fashion industry. So I was a freelance fashion designer. I was working with small brands and helping them start up brands and so on. So I really enjoyed my job, but I wasn't really happy, and I just felt like I can do more. I wanted to grow in the industry, and I didn't see like a direction or anything that I wanted to do. So just to grow my portfolio, I was thinking of doing graphic design because I've always wanted to do graphic design. So I looked into that, and I stumbled upon UI, UX design, and that led me to impressed with just programming and coding. And I found myself here at Zayo, and I was like, let me just give this a try. It was very, very hard. I won't lie. I didn't know how to censor a dev what VS Code was. And like again, the tutors were very, very helpful. I'm sure I gave them a headache, but it was absolutely worth it at the end. And yeah.
No, it's a very interesting journey, like going all the way from fashion designing to actually building your first app. So maybe tell us about your what did it feel like, when you built your first. What was the first app you built before, like not the capstone and stuff, like while you were learning? What was the first project that you worked on?
So the first project was our Tesla landing page.
Oh
And
yeah,
let me
yeah.
tell you, I struggled so much with that to a point where Johan, our lecturer, had to dedicate a whole session. So I was clueless from the start. I didn't understand devs. Why do you have devs? Just how to link CSS and HTML. It was really, really a struggle at first. But I just love
Yeah.
how gentle and kind the lecturers and the tutors were. So I didn't at first. Obviously, I felt stupid, but they were very, very helpful. And yeah, now I can literally just code like HTML and CSS though in my sleep.
Wow, that's quite amazing to hear that. And now it's been about 6 months for you, right? since you started. Oh, did we lose? Did we lose you? Okay, I think the network has just been a bit of a mission today with Mobile. Um, yeah, I think we can actually bring back Asif, and we can take a couple more questions. I think we have about um, 9 minutes left in today's segment. But yeah, Mobile's story was very interesting, going from fashion designer to actually becoming building her own project. You know, doing the I think she built the Airbnb clone. We had a look at it earlier today as well. So no, it's amazing to see how she started in a completely different field, and now she built her own app. I did want to ask her about placement because I think now she's part of the placement. She's going through the placement process right now of applying to companies and preparing her profile, right?
Yeah, I think she actually got selected at some fashion company. I had to confirm with her.
Oh, lit, man. Okay, that would have been nice, really nice to confirm with her. But that's fine. I think the main takeaway from that was, you can start your journey without any experience, and from fashion, from a totally different field, you can actually land a job, right? So let's see. Let's take more questions. So Mox here is saying, what is the difference on a salary scale for a person from university and a person that did a certificate from Zaio? Wow, it's a very, very good question. Asif, want to take that one?
All right, cool. So here's the thing, right? Remember when you're doing a certificate with Zayo, okay? So the thing that matters the most in this industry is experience, okay? So now if you go and even check, Elon Musk he released a tweet that he's building a new, I think it's something for X, the everything company. I think is building that,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's a good one.
he released a post saying that if you're a developer, so show me your code, send me your GitHub repository. I don't care whether you have a degree or don't have a degree. So that just shows, right? Someone with so much power does not care about the kind of qualification you have. Because in this space, what matters is your experience and your problem solving ability, right? So when it comes to salary scale, let's say you finish 1 year with Zayo, right? Let's say you even go to a deferred program. You spend a whole year with Zayo, which means in your second year, you're able to now get a job, right? Or you'll be able to apply for junior level jobs. Your pay will be on the lower end, right? Maybe around 10 grand or 15 grand. But within 1 year, you can ask for a raise because you have that year of experience and you know how the entire system works in the company. Okay. And then let's say it's the fourth year of the person who finished uni and it's your fourth year now. By your fourth year, you have 3 years of experience, right? You will be earning like twice as much as what a university grad would earn by then, right? So that's what you need to keep in mind. Because the university grad just finished computer science, he has no experience. He doesn't know Node.js, he doesn't know React.js, he just knows the basic things. He's never worked with teams, he's never worked with companies. So he's gonna go through a graduate program. The graduate programs usually pay like 20K from what I recall. You would be out there earning like 45, 50 because now you're a 3 year experienced dev and now you're going into the mid level to senior level as a developer. So that's what you need to keep in mind. It's a long term game, but you need to keep on grinding. As like how you would go to university and grind, similarly, you need to be grinding on this side as well.
Yeah, I think the moment it comes to landing your second job, so your first job is probably where there might be a discrepancy, but once you're landing the second job, people are looking at your past experience. They're not looking at, you know, um, when did you graduate from university. They're looking at how long did you work for in the previous company, right? So yes, you have to go through the grind of landing that first one, but once you're through that, I think there's no stopping you.
From what I haven't realized that whenever you go for technical interview, that when they see that you have more than like 3, 4 years experience, they're so chilled with you because they know that it's no point like, wasting time with this person. He definitely knows what he's doing, So like the way you answer even becomes more credible in these kind of interviews.
100%. So the next question from Johan here is, would it be possible to elaborate on the financing options?
You want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So we basically have three payment plans, right? The first one is upfront. So for full stack, it's 25,500 rands. And for data science, it's 29,500 rands. We also have installment plans for both of them, right? So we have a 2-month installment plan in case you want to pay over a shorter period of time, which would basically be yeah, we have a shorter installment. Yeah, you can pay over
It's
two
around, I
months
think it's yeah, over 2 months is 13,000 for the first month, 13,000
13,000
for the
for,
second month. Yeah,
yeah,
and then
and
I
it's
think it's for
15,000,
the
15,000
yeah for data science.
for installments. And for Manati, like it really varies. So Manati is basically our financing partner, so it's basically a student loan. So that normally varies, across, like, depending on your risk profile. So they will do an evaluation on you, and it could be maybe around 2,000, like 1,000 to 2,000 rands a month, right? And the loan term depends again on your risk profile. So Manati is something that a lot of learners actually opt to go for, right? And that is something that Manati handles, right? And a contract happens between you and Manati, and then we enroll you after that, right? So the next question is, I would like to know if it's possible to continue and extend my studies or attend university as a postgraduate student after completing a 6-month bootcamp in data science or IT with a certificate. Asif, you want to take that?
Yeah, nice question, Karabo. Like a lot of like we've got this query before as well, but unfortunately, this is a boot camp, right? It's not like something like university level. Because remember, university level courses are NQF level 7, right? We are providing link NQF level 5, but that's just to back the course with accreditation. But the material you learn is like NQF level 7 kind of material. It's just that the way universities perceive it is different. So you can't. It's not possible to actually go for postgraduate studies after that.
Yeah, I think before we actually continue any further, right, I'd like to just remind you guys about that gift hamper I spoke about, right? So if you stuck with us up until now, up until the end over here, I think you deserve this one, right? So the gift hamper. So we're basically planning to give you guys a gift hamper worth 3,000 rands. This is a hamper that contains a bunch of goodies, some Zaio swag that we're also giving to our grads. So we're really excited to see how everybody's going to be looking with all their Zaio t-shirts and bottles and mugs and so on. So super excited about that. But there's also like some vouchers in that. So I think there's 2,000 rands worth of voucher and then 1,000 rand worth of goodies, like merch and all of that stuff. And the way you can actually enter the raffle. So this is a raffle basically. So how it works is I've attached a Google form over here. So perhaps we can drop it in the comments, right? And with this Google form, you can refer other people, right? And stand up, and whoever actually makes it into the final enrollment, right? We're going to use your entry into the raffle only once the bootcamp actually starts, so we can see who all enrolled, right? And we're going to pick a random person, and we're going to gift the hamper to that person, right? So we're super excited about this. We want you to. It's a new year, right? 2020 thrive. Okay, so this year is all about growing. So why not gift somebody the opportunity to grow, right? And the way you can do that is by referring them, by working on this form, okay? And once the bootcamp begins, and if they actually enroll into the bootcamp, you stand a chance to win this voucher, all right? So yeah, we're super excited to see who wins this, and definitely stay tuned on Discord and our socials to actually see who actually walks away with this hamper. If you are really keen to win this hamper, definitely go ahead and refer a friend, refer your siblings. It's in this day and age, you have to become tech literate. You have to become very comfortable with knowing how APIs work, how coding works, and in this upcoming age, it's really crucial that you get comfortable with programming. All right. So what are you waiting for, guys? Go ahead, apply, right? Start your journey today. You never know where this journey is going to lead you. There's a ton of opportunities. We've seen lots of youth's lives change, right? So the application deadline is actually 25th of January. So definitely go ahead and apply and see where this journey takes you. And we are trying our best. We're as flexible as possible with the payments. We've partnered with Manati for this, and they've been incredibly helpful for us in helping learners access our content. So it's been an amazing one, guys. If you have any questions as well, please reach out to us, reach out to our consultants. I think this has brought us towards the end of this this webinar, our first webinar of the year. You can also book a consultation with our consultants, with our tech consultants, and they'll be able to guide you and assist you with any questions you have. No question is silly. No question is silly at all. Any question that you have, don't keep it in. Ask us. We're here to help you. We know it's a big step, you know, investing in your future. But for us, it's more than the boot camp. It's more about the impact. It's more about trying to see people get through this whole thing into jobs, you know, and achieving a fulfilling career. All right. So thank you so much. It's been good. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.